Dayna, Vidalia, Alicia, how the hell are you guys? We'll let Dayna go first instead of us all. Wow.
I'm great. Thank you for asking, Jesse. I'm really excited to be here. I love talking about Christmas movies.
Yeah. You know, Christmas is either hit or miss. It's either people love to talk about it or like, they don't want to hear, you know? So thank you for being here. Alicia, how the hell are you?
We're doing good. Just hanging out today and got all the time in the world to sit and talk about Christmas movies with you guys. So happy to be back.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Vidalia, how the hell are you?
Good. Winding down to the last week before Christmas break, for school. Yes. So busy week.
So
I'm already tired.
One more week and then it's Christmas break, right?
Yes. But this is the week that everything happens. So
yeah,
like all the things. We have a list of days, we have program, we have, you know what I mean? All the things. So yeah.
Is it twice as hard? Because was school in full swing last year at this point, or was it hit and miss?
No, we were shut down. So this background is from May or from March, the last time that I did a background, because I was teaching from this spot and I haven't sat here other than a podcast since then. But at this time last year, we were home. So I had kind of forgotten some things, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. We got to have like a little party and we're going to be doing the performance and we are going to have the dress up days and we're going to have secret part reveal and all the things are happening this week. Yeah.
All the things. All right. Awesome. So Vidalia and Alicia have been on bunch of top 5 podcasts with me. And Dayna was on the top 5 Taylor Swift podcast songs with me. Check it out. I got my there's my signed Evermore CD.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
Still in the plastic.
You're such a chick. I love it.
Yeah, I can't help it. I'm fluid, man. I'm cool. I just go where the emotion takes me, man. I just go and I'm a happy person. Okay. Let's Christmas. I lagged on getting like these Christmas podcasts together. I still kind of want to do another one, but I don't know what. Vidalia, how excited were you to talk about Christmas movies?
Uber, because I was wondering if we were going to get together, because we kind of started this whole thing, right? This was the first thing that we did with what you did with podcasts way back when we did the 80s soundtrack, and it was around this time. And so I'm like, okay, is he gonna reach out? What's gonna happen? Is he gonna And so I was trying to think, like, I need to have something kind of mentally already prepared in case. And here we are. So I'm glad. I'm so happy to be doing this.
So it started maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, before like Zoom and podcasts were even a thing in my world. And it was like coming home. I came home for Christmas one year and I met up with Coach Pena. And that's when we did,
that's right.
We did like the top 5 or top 10 songs of the 80s. And like we had like a spreadsheet.
It was like so crazy. That was did we video ourselves? But I remember doing one with you and Vidalia, and I drove to your mom's house and it was raining.
Yeah. So the year before that, it was only me and Mario talking about the Christmas, the top songs of the 80s. And then the following year, I was like, wait, I want this to last. So I was like, let's do a podcast. And that's where it was. Yeah. And then that's when it started. Yeah. At my mom's house. Yep. Definitely.
Right. And we had on like headphones and we were holding microphones. It was all.
Yeah. And back then we weren't doing Zoom. It was just live and we only recorded the audio, but now Zoom is a thing. Yeah. Dayna, how hard was it for you to zero in on just 5 movies?
Actually, I feel like anytime I do one of these lists, like the top 3 or 4 always like are really easy, and it's just sort of like rounding out the bottom. And I'm always afraid that like I'm gonna miss something, so then I have to like go on the internet and be like, okay, what is there? What am I missing?
Yeah, that's one of my biggest fears too, and it's one of the reasons why like I'll put it like on Facebook, because when I start reading other people's lists, I'm like, oh yeah, and then the whole FOMO about the list is like, I have to just tell myself, okay, hopefully if it's that great of a movie, someone else is going to mention it.
Mhm.
And it usually does. It usually does get mentioned at one point or another, you know. Alicia, how many times did you have to rearrange your list? And did you do it like last minute? Was it like a minute before you joined the call? Were you still moving things around?
Yeah, no, because I did that yesterday very quickly. Because I told you I had that little tiny window because my husband, who usually works late on Fridays, this is what I do on a Saturday, is like Friday night, because he's working late, I'll just hammer it out, just do everything and then make my bullet points and whatever notes I have. And so he called me and he's like, well, there was no overtime today, so I'll be home. And I went, rats, like, damn it. And so I told my daughter, and then she's like, okay, mom, let's do this. So she like whips out her iPad and boom, 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 boom. And my list, actually, it was easier to put together than I thought it was going to be, just because I made myself adhere to a certain criteria. So it had to be this or it had to be that. But my list overall is very personal. So I didn't go with, well, I didn't feel compelled to go with It's a Wonderful Life or necessarily, you know, A Christmas Carol with George C. Scott, even though I do like that and I do enjoy it. It was a made-for-TV movie, so then I was like, scratch that, you know. So like things sort of started to fall into place, and a lot of it isn't. It's just what we play here at home every year.
Okay.
And like I know that Adrian or Matthew had said, how about Lord of the Rings trilogy or like whatever? Yeah, the one that
those came out.
But those were like his standards, his staples. So I get it. I totally like give him props for that. That's what they do in their house. This is what we do in our house, you know. So
you keep that at your house, buddy.
Yeah. I don't have time for that, sir. Yeah. But yeah, that made it really simple for me. So yeah, more so than with other lists that I've had to put together. So I enjoyed it. Yeah.
So, but before we get on to loving some Christmas movies, is there any Christmas movies that you just absolutely despise? Like it comes on, you're like, oh, and you just change it? Vidalia, anything that you can't stand Christmas wise?
I thought Bad Santa was so kind of raunchy and like, I don't know. That gave me like, I don't know. That's not what Christmas movies is supposed to be. but I'm gonna be real honest. I've only seen it the one time. And I just remembered there's the impression back then. So when I think of, you know, not the opposite of what a Christmas movie should be, than that. And also the general concept of the really cringy kind of like Hallmark Christmas movies, you know, they have like a recipe and it's all the same thing, sometimes with the same people, just repeated over and over and over again. That kind of doesn't appeal to me personally. It's just a personal.
The thing about Bad Santa is like, it's one of those movies that like, I'm like, God damn it, I shouldn't be laughing at this. I do feel really bad after enjoying as much as I enjoy the viewing of Bad, and I don't think I've watched it in years and years and years, but I'm a Billy Bob Thornton fan, so I can't completely take it off my list. What about you, Dayna? Is there anything that you're just like, I don't, if you know, you're gonna change it? You're not gonna watch it if it comes on TV.
Yeah, I feel like with a lot of things, I've never really been into the thing that's cool just because everybody thinks that it's cool or like because it's nostalgic or whatever. So I remember I saw like A Christmas Vacation one time and like it was fine, but I didn't get the hype. I was like, I don't understand.
Thank you.
Like this so much.
Yes, absolutely agree. Everybody wants to put it at their list, and I'm like, I watched it. It's fine, but that's it. That's all it does for me.
You know,
I'm on board.
I'm gonna save this fight with all three of you for later. Alicia, do I even want to ask?
You know what though? When I was thinking about all the things that my kids used to watch, and I did put it on my honorables, but I have to say that the subsequent sequels to this particular franchise got worse and worse, and it's the Santa Claus.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't you? I mean, wouldn't you agree? Like, it's just really Jack Frost, really Aisha Tyler, really like they were like trying too hard to do something that probably was a dead horse that was being beaten anyway. But that, and then have you ever seen the original Black Christmas? That is hysterically funny. It's like it's a terrible like slasher film, but it was set in the 70s with, I believe, Olivia Hussey's in it, but the girl from Romeo and Juliet. But it's so terrible. It's laughable. Anyway, so I saw that come up.
I saw the remake that they released, and that one was horrible. It was so bad.
Yes. Even worse, if they could have tried to do it worse, they did. But yeah, just those really that came to mind, because I'll see like that one with I think it's the one with Martin Short. Is he the Jack Frost character? And I'll just change the channel.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I'll just be like, yeah, no thanks. And really anything with like snowmen. Like what's the one? Was it Jack Frost with Michael Keaton or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
And just what really? Who greenlit this? Who's responsible for these decisions?
Oh man.
Okay, but that's it. Yeah.
All right. Are we ready? Are we ready?
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Alicia, we're just gonna let you keep rambling on. We're just gonna let you go.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Let's start with your number 5.
All right.
Alicia.
My number 5 is one. I wanted to put it higher because we play all 5 of these in a regular rotation. But the Polar Express.
Mm-hmm.
And the songs that are in it and the hot chocolate song. I mean,
yes,
kids want to see it and we see it, and it's Tom Hanks. Shoot, Tom Hanks could do anything, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He can.
Walk on water.
Yes, he can. Yes, absolutely. And the animation and like how close it is. I mean, when I see his character, I'm like, oh my God, that really is Tom Hanks, even though it's
he was the guy on the top of the train, and then he was Santa Claus, and then he was, narrating the damn thing. So every time you turn around, there's Tom Hanks. There's Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I can never get enough Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I'm all in on Tom Hanks. All right.
Plus, I mean, the book is such a classic, and the whole theme of it, of believing, and it's just so beautiful. It's beautiful.
Do you guys at your school that you work at, Vidalia, do you guys do Polar Express Day where the kids come in jammies and they have hot chocolate and all that?
We don't like call it that. We do have a pajama day, but I am going to be, that's one of the things this week. I'm going to be reading the Polar Express to my kids.
Yay.
Yeah.
Dayna, what do you have at number 5?
So I am like a sucker for rom-com any time of the year, but the Christmas ones are always fun. So my number 5, I picked Love Actually. It's super cliched, but I love it. I think it used to be higher on my list. It used to be my yearly one. There are some of the sections of it now that I'm sort of like, I'm not a fan of, but like it's still like it's just so sweet. And I love British humor and I love British actors. So it's just like it warms my heart.
All right. I
love it.
Love it. Vidalia, what do you have at number 5? Cinco.
Number 5 was Polar Express as well.
Oh shit, we've
and just
crossover.
Just everything, the music and the scene. It's exquisite. The scenery is just so beautiful. The animation, how they were able to capture the spirit of the book so well. And normally I'm not a fan of book to film, but I loved it. I loved it.
That scene where the train is sliding all over the ice, if you go back and look at that, how did they do that? That was insane. and the train is turning and everybody's going all different directions. It's like, holy shoot. Even for back then, how innovative that animation was. Yeah.
Awesome. Polar Express, I already mentioned twice.
Yeah.
You know what? My number 5, I'm really just pulling it's my podcast card, and and I don't know, it's a movie that takes place during Christmas. There's a couple of very Christmassy scenes in this movie.
There you go.
And
is there a hazy shade of winter in there maybe?
No, I didn't want to get controversial. We're going to talk about that movie eventually. I am talking about Nick and Norah's Infinite Playlist.
Okay.
Has anyone seen it? No.
Yeah, it was cute.
No, I know who comes out in it though, but I've never seen it yet.
So
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's in the city. It's in New York City, and I don't know if it's like Christmas Eve or it's like the week of Christmas, but there's lots of Christmas stuff going on in the movie, and it just reminds me of Christmas. And I try to watch it every year at Christmas. So I just wanted to talk about Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist really quick. And
So it's Christmas adjacent. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
there you go. It's Christmas adjacent.
Okay.
And I don't know. I kind of felt that might happen later on in the list. But that's my one Christmas adjacent movie that I had to throw in there. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. All right.
What is the plot about of the movie?
So Michael Cera is on again, off again with this girl, and he makes her these playlists. So he makes her these mixed CDs, and she always just like kind of like tosses them, and she doesn't care about them. And then the girl from Two Broke Girls is one of that girl's friends, and she always like grabs the CDs when she discards them, and she's like, "This guy's my musical soulmate, I think." And then they meet up one night, and they're kind of like it's so much fun because it's like a night in New York City, and they're listening to the radio trying to figure out where this band is going to be doing a secret show that night. And so they keep running into each other at different venues all across the city, and they're kind of like jerks to each other, like, I like you, no, I don't like you, the whole cat and mouse thing. And it kind of just leads up to, and it's all this great music and all these great characters, they're friends and they're best friends, and it's great. There's a drag show. It's everything you want really in a Christmas movie.
Because it's Kat Denning, right? And I think, I think she's hilarious. Like, she's always so funny and quirky. I love it.
Yeah, she's great. And Michael Cera, come on.
Yeah.
It's great. I love him. He's so funny. All right. Alicia, you're number 4.
Why are you like catching me off guard? I should know. I'm like, wait, just having a good time. Oh yeah, it's my turn. Sorry. Okay, the next one on my list. I have a little toy to go along with this.
All right.
So here's my nutcracker. Can you see it?
Wow.
It's a good looking nutcracker.
Ralphie.
Where do you get this stuff?
I have to order it like on Black Friday. They're so expensive. So I have to get them for like $80, and they're like $200 nutcrackers or something crazy. Wow. Oh, my other one just woke up. Sorry. Anyway, Christmas Story, because they play it for 24 hours every year. Come on. This is probably on everybody's list, but it comes in at number 4 for me, just because the ones that are up closer to the top are a little closer to my heart. But who doesn't know all the freaking dialogue? Come on. Mm-hmm. So I think it's synonymous with Christmas around here.
I've never seen it.
What? You're kicked out of the USA.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Are you
okay? So Dayna, that's usually my role, that I've never seen it. Wow. Okay.
It's a Christmas tradition at the Rivera house. I love looking at Christmas pictures from like 10 years ago, and in the background, A Christmas Story is on the TV. It's so great. All right, yeah. Story.
Oh, she has to watch it now.
Already done his homework, and
I mean, you can't. It's one of those movies like you can't avoid it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come across one of your screens eventually at some point during Christmas, and it is hilarious, and it does go back to a simpler time of movies. Very slapsticky. I don't know. There's some stuff that I don't think would get made in 2021.
Yeah.
But every movie from the 80s is that.
Right. Thank God it was made in the 80s, because it is a thing of beauty. Chef's kiss.
Oh, Dayna, we know A Christmas Story is not your number 4. So what is your number 4, Dayna?
So I am, like, in general, a big fan of horror films. So I feel like even at Christmas, like, I got to sneak one on my list. So my number 4 is Gremlins, because it technically takes place at Christmas, right? And Gizmo is a Christmas present, so like it totally tracks. Like I love that it's like scary and it's ridiculously silly, and I love how Gizmo is so cute and furry and all the shenanigans. Like it's super fun.
I love
I love Gremlins. So cute.
It's totally a Christmas movie. It really is. It takes me like he's a Christmas present, right? The dad comes home for Christmas. Yeah. Phoebe Cates at prime Phoebe Cates time was in that movie, and I don't remember anybody else, but
yeah, and she had all her clothes on.
Yeah, it's the one forgettable Phoebe Cates movie.
I mean, if there's any time of the year where like little monsters are gonna like have maximum like carnage of what they destroy, like Christmas is perfect because there's so many decorations. You can just go nuts.
I can see like in my head one of the monster gremlins like on a Christmas tree and the lights are exploding or something. Did that happen or am I imagining it?
No, I think it happened.
I think that was in a scene. Yeah. So maybe with the Santa Claus hat on.
But doesn't Gizmo who's the really mean one? It's not Gizmo, is it? It's the one with like
Spike.
Yeah.
Spike.
Oh yeah. What are your feelings on Spike? Are you team Spike?
I mean, I don't like him because he's mean to Gizmo, and Gizmo's so cute, but like I think as a villain that can't talk, he's very well done. Like, you want your antagonist to like be a good character, even if they're like mean.
They did talk because I want to say that they said Gizmo caca or something like that. You remember?
Okay, they knew a few words.
So Gizmo caca.
They're not going to do the long monologues about here's my evil plan.
Right.
This is why I'm evil. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Told you guys Dayna was cool. All right, Vidalia, what do you got at number 4?
My number 4 is a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh, breaking the rule.
No, I'm not breaking the rules.
It's a short film. It's made for TV. It's 20 minutes. I guess that it would qualify as a short film because it's only 20 minutes long and it's a half hour.
IMDb is calling it a film.
I love it. Go ahead.
It has a score.
I love it. Go ahead.
I have it on DVD.
I have it on vinyl.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm calling it a movie for this. I just can't see myself making a list of Christmas anything that I'm watching that my eyeballs are consuming and my heart is taking in and not having Charlie Brown. There's just I'm just not going to do that. So yeah, it's definitely on my list. I mean, and the fact that it was made so long ago and it's still relevant today, like the theme of it, it's still relevant today. You know what I mean? I just love it.
It's like the one Christmas thing made so long ago and there's not like something in it that's like really bad racially,
Right.
It's still wholesome. It's great.
It's still wholesome and so just so sweet. And I mean, you still see, here we are, how long, 40, 50 years later, and we can still find it. We can still find products for it. It's a part of our culture, of our Christmas, American Christmas culture. Yeah. So definitely my Charlie Brown.
It's Linus at the end that has the monologue, right? Is it Linus or Schroeder? Who has the monologue at the end?
I believe it's Linus.
Yeah, he's got his blanket and it's like, yeah, good stuff. Charlie Brown.
Yes. Yeah. Charlie Brown.
My kids have that thing. They memorized all of those. Like we bought them every single holiday DVD, the Charlie Brown Halloween one, Great Pumpkin. We have the Thanksgiving one. We have the Christmas one. Yes. We have one for Valentine's Day. I believe there's 2 Christmas ones and we have them both. So they know all those and they would play them in the DVD thing in my car. Like rotate them out.
We had the DVD set, the box set, and then we also had the CDs before I had like Apple Music because the trio, the Vince, I can never say the last name. Trio, the music is just so beautiful. Even now, like it's not Christmas, but the Thanksgiving waltz is my absolute favorite. And every time I hear it, I'm like, why don't they make music like that anymore? Like, it's so beautiful. You know, I just love it. I love it.
I listened to it just last night. I listened to it last night.
You did?
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
I was getting ready to go to an open mic, and I was like, I had like an hour to kill, and I was just going over my notebooks and just writing, and I just put it on in the background. It's great.
Yeah, it's perfect. I play it as background music in my classroom all the time, and it's not, you know, it's something that's like beautiful and soothing and Christmassy, but it's not like in your face. The kids don't get like hyper, you know, if it's on or whatever, and they're able to work through it. Yeah,
I always have the visual of them at the ice rink.
Yes.
Skating. Yeah.
So sweet. So sweet.
My number 4. I'm late to the party on this one. I resisted and resisted and resisted. And then last year I watched it, and then this year I had Thanksgiving dinner at my friend Dayna's house, Dana, not Dayna, and after Thanksgiving, everybody sat down on the couch. They turned on the TV, and Elf was just starting. I got super excited because I was like, this is like guys like Will Ferrell and Jim Carrey, like they go full Will Ferrell, Jim Carrey. Mike Myers is kind of one of them, but then after a while you're kind of like done watching them do that. You know, like they kind of peak at that, and I really think that Elf is like the absolute silliest that Will Ferrell gets, and then I don't ever want to see him get that silly ever again. But it's so great watching Will Ferrell be Will Ferrell, and it's so funny. And I'm really excited that I've only watched it maybe 5 or 6 times, so I know that that's going to be like one of my holiday staples for the rest of the years to come. So Elf is my number 4. I'm curious if it made anyone else's list.
So here's where I step in, Dayna. I've never seen it.
Nice.
And at this point, I just refuse. Like, I just won't do it.
Oh my gosh.
Dayna and Vidalia should like start their own podcast of like, I've never seen it. This is all the rage with everyone, but I've never seen it.
Oh, I have so many of those, especially like having friends or movie buffs. I'm like, I don't watch as many as other people.
Yeah, same. Same.
It's called the Unpopular Opinion Podcast.
Alicia, are you ready?
I am.
Come back to you. All right. Alicia, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is I don't think it was promoted or released as a Christmas film per se, but everyone you talk to will tell you it's a Christmas film. Love Actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yes.
that's my number 3. And especially with the fact that they were doing the Christmas concert, that's the huge moment at the end, and the little girl that sings All I Want for Christmas, just over the top Christmas.
Nailed it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Christmas concert at school. Yeah. So how do you get more Christmassy than that? I don't know.
No.
What was it? What was it? The costume that the mom had to create, and I forget her name right now. The actress.
Lobster. Was it the lobster?
It just cracked me up. Like, how do you make a parent make a lobster?
I know, but all those storylines were really, really good. And the one with Laura Linney and her brother with special needs. I mean, of course, that's going to tug at my heartstrings, right? But all of them, and the love story with Colin Firth and the Portuguese lady, and and then
you can't fall in love with Colin Firth. I mean, like, sign me up.
Yes.
But my and then the unrequited one with Keira Knightley and Officer Rick. God dang it, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. From The Walking Dead. Andrew Lincoln. I like that one, but that doesn't quite end the way I wanted it to.
I don't know. I'd cut that one out of the movie. I'm sort of a notorious like hater of Keira Knightley. Like, I don't like her.
Yeah, I could take her or leave her. She doesn't do anything for me, but yeah, she's whatever. But if you hate her, then maybe we should all hate her. I don't know.
Like, I think she's a good actress, and I've seen several of her films, but like personally, there's just something about her that I'm like, I don't like her. Sorry.
I'm forever in love with Singles, Keira Knightley. She was in that one, right? Singles, the
movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. It's been a
I don't know
while.
what that is.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Dayna, Vidalia, never seen it. All right. Dayna, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is Elf. I totally, like, you totally said what I was gonna say. Like, I usually don't resonate with comedians that go these big crazy characters. Like, usually it's just too much for me, but like, I absolutely love Will Ferrell. I've seen so many of his movies. I think he's hilarious. I think he walks that fine line of like doing a character but not like overdoing it. And it's just so cute and sweet. I used to have the like, Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color, is my ringtone at Christmas time because I think it's so funny. And I love the chemistry with Zooey Deschanel. Like, I feel like I kind of relate a lot to that. Like, I'm gonna hide in my shower and sing and not sing in front of other people, and then just, you know, bringing out that Christmas spirit in everyone. I think it's so cute.
Elf, awesome.
Yeah, and I think I like that. Like, it's a grown adult being in a Christmas movie, but there's no like adult cynicism in it, or like trying to make it, you know, serious, or, you know, taint that like pure joy of the character Buddy. So I think that's why I love it so much, because it's just so innocent and he does it so well, even though he's an adult.
You know, and I think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that does not bust up laughing every time he goes, I love smiling. Smiling's my favorite. I could just die because of his expression while he's saying it, because he seriously looks that innocent, you know, and that like a child. And who can pull that off? Like, very few people would have been able to play that role. So, and he did it really well.
Yeah.
Elf. All right. Vidalia, what do you have at number 3?
Number 3 might be the one where, you know, I always say one where it just goes, this might be it.
Get ready.
But I love this film. I've loved this film since the first time I saw it. My kids love this film. I love the music in this film. And that is Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It would never, ever, ever happen today. You know, that story, the kid being left behind or whatever, that probably never happened today. But so it's not like it's relatable at all, but it's fun and it's cute and it's sweet, and how he's such a little kid. Kevin is such a little kid, and he's so like negative, and he has that cynicism, and then how he just completely like turns around, you know. I don't know, I love that movie.
Please tell me you've seen the new commercial with Catherine O'Hara and Kevin Hart.
I have not.
You haven't seen, I don't even know who the retailer is, but there's Catherine O'Hara's going, Kevin, like all over this department store. And then he comes out and he goes, what? Why are you screaming at me?
Oh.
And then she said something to him like, well, where were you? Or I forget what the line is. And he looks at her and he goes, do you have to lose a Kevin every year?
Oh.
It's really cute commercial. Be on the lookout for it when you see her and she's like crouched around looking around the floor. It's funny. I love her.
Home Alone is also my number 3. So
is it? Oh, okay. So you're not rolling your eyes this time.
No, I love Home Alone, and I love Kevin. I love Macaulay Culkin. I mean, he went through his whole crazy phase, and then like he's so level-headed, and he's so like, what the fuck? Look at what I had to live with, like, you know. And he's so like, anytime he's on a podcast, I love listening to it because it really grounds me, like his perspective on everything these days. And I'm a huge Macaulay Culkin fan, even Carrey and Culkin. I'm signed in for the whole Culkin family. But Home Alone is great. Joe Pesci is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
John Candy, the polka, with the polka band.
So right, yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about the John Candy. Anytime I think old John Candy, I just think of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
And automobiles, yeah, I know. Yeah. And Uncle Buck, right? Yeah.
And JFK.
Yeah.
All right, Home Alone, number 3. All right, we're at our number 2s. Alicia, are you ready? What is your number 2, Alicia?
Well, first I was just going to say something about Home Alone.
Go for it.
I've never actually seen it start to finish. I just walk in on bits and pieces, but everything that I've ever seen about it is kind of a turnoff for me because it just looks so silly. Like, oh, really, this little kid is going to outsmart two grown adult males who are supposedly robbers. They're supposed to be good at this. Why are they failing so hard and falling all over the floor on marbles or, you know, whatever it was. I'm like, it's just so far-fetched, everything about it. So I just never, I guess I've had a block on it, but I'm sure it's fine. Everybody loves it. So.
Alicia, you're losing a turn. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I've met some really dumb grown adults.
I'm a grown adult, okay? Oh, shit. All right, what is your number two? We'll give you your turn back. What is your number two?
We just went on and discussed it for a long time, but Elf. And like I said, like there's just so much, like in terms of one-liners from that movie that people have, you know, plastered on t-shirts or cups or, you know what I mean? Like around the holidays, because it's such a kind of a classic in that way. And I don't know who was responsible for the writing or anything, but there's some really clever, like, you know, cotton-headed Ninny Muggins, come on. Or, you know, like, bye, Mr. Narwhal, or, you know, little things here and there. You did it. You're the best coffee. Or, you know, like everything that comes out of his mouth is so repeatable. It's great. And, you know, to that end, also one that we watched, not Christmas related, but because of Will Ferrell, it made the movie so great. In that same way was Ricky Bobby, the what's it called?
I was thinking about that this morning.
Yeah, because he's just all like, if I would want a bunch of wusses for kids, I'd have named them Dr. Quinn and Medicine Woman, or, you know, like lines like that are Elf. It's like Elf all throughout. And we didn't mention what a great job James Caan did, because man, for the first part of that movie, you thought he was such an ass. Like, just give him a chance, or, you know, whatever. Listen to him. He's annoying, sure, but he's not that annoying. He was just super rude to him. What are you still doing here? You know, like whatever. And then the way that he comes around finally, I don't know. He's the most underrated part of that movie, in my opinion.
All right.
And Mary Steenburgen too. Everybody loves Mary Steenburgen.
Great.
Dayna, what do you have at number two?
Again, bringing it back to my love of rom-coms, this is the movie that I watch every Christmas, at least now, one of the two. So my number two pick is The Holiday. If you're not familiar, it's the one where Kate Winslet and Cameron Diaz swap houses for Christmas because they're both sad. And it's a cute little love story. Cameron Diaz goes to a cute little cottage in England and meets I'm blanking on his name. The really hot guy. Yeah, he's Jude Law. You know, I'm like the super hot one that's in all the movies.
And then poor Kate Winslet gets stuck with Jack Black. I'm like, really?
No, I love them. I love that for them. Like, Jack Black is so funny, and he's so
great.
genuine.
He's absolutely great. Yeah.
Like, I would go for Jack Black over Jude Law any day because he's so sweet. And I love the whole storyline with the little old dude that like made movies, and it's just so cute and wholesome. And I love that it's at Christmas. I watch it all the time.
I like the last scene where they're all dancing in the living room. That's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember what the song was, but everybody looked really pretty and they were all dressed up and just dancing randomly. But it is a feel-good movie. You're right.
Yeah.
And those are all like really great actors that just do a good job and always bring quality. And I don't think you would bring some of them together in one film. So I just love that you got that nice mix.
I'm team Kate Winslet since Titanic. I love her. And I loved that like Jack Black could pull a Kate Winslet in that movie, because I was like, wait, then that means I could pull Kate Winslet. That was my rationale after watching that. I love it.
I like to think that like I'm a Jack Black, and so like I like to know that I can pull a Kate Winslet.
Exactly. We're
but like in a man. Worthy. Like a man Winslet, is that a thing?
Oh shoot. Vidalia, what do you have at number two?
So this one's been mentioned a couple of times now, but it's Love Actually.
Mm.
This is the one that I one of the two that I would personally not only watch, and I have not only watched during Christmas time, but like anytime. Like I had it on VHS,
Wow.
and then I had it on, and then I had it on DVD, and now I can stream it. So I love it. I love how all the stories kind of converge together. They come together. I love the music. I don't know. And the storyline with Colin Firth and his lady love. Oh my gosh, that was just so good. So cute. Yeah. So, and I mean, the cast is a stellar cast. You know, the casting was great. So I just love Actually.
I think one of the underrated stories in that, though, I always love Bill Nighy and his like manager and how they're like, you know, their platonic friend love comes out. And I always thought that was a beautiful one too.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And the way that they like interwove all of those stories at the end and tied them in a nice little bow was really, really awesome on the part of the writers, because you didn't see it coming. Like, oh, Emma Thompson is his sister. Oh my gosh, you know. Right. And then, you know, the little secretary's families is also rushing off to the Christmas program, and yeah, that was really cool. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Love Actually. I've you know what? I'm gonna be in the I've never seen it category of Love Actually. Okay.
I don't even know.
I'm in disbelief right now. I'm in disbelief.
You have homework now too.
I mean, this is right up your alley, Jess. This is you. You would love this. I know that for a fact.
Was it okay? Wait, hold on, because now I'm getting real confused with the actors. Billy Bob Thornton.
He was the president. Yeah,
he was he was the president of the United States. That was going against. Yeah, that was going against. Not going against, but
now you have
opposite. Hugh. Help me. Hugh Grant.
90s,
Hugh Grant.
90s movie?
Yeah. Is it late 90s or early aughts?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's either late 90s or early aughts.
Okay.
I don't know.
But you should watch it.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on. You guys love talking about Love Actually, but
I'm still rattled a little bit. I need smelling salts or something. I don't know. I can't believe that you've not seen that.
My number two, we're gonna move on. My number two is A Christmas Story. Is my number two. We've talked about it already once. Yeah, it's been on one other list so far. A Christmas Story. I love that it's always like officially Christmas Eve for me, because something it's like on Christmas Eve that they start playing it 24 hours, right?
Yes,
I think so.
Yeah. It's on Christmas Eve that they start
all the way through Christmas night. Yeah,
it's like I wake up in the morning and there's you can smell tamales and A Christmas Story, and it's cold. Well, California cold, and but it really is the start of Christmas for me. All right, guys, we've gotten to the point where I'm going to go to, I always like posting this on Facebook and asking people there to give what their top 5 is. And I posted this kind of late last night, and it's got 27 comments right now. I don't know that we'll read all 27 of them. Let me scroll this really quick. And okay, so I gotta shout out these 3 Sacramento comics right off the bat if I ever want to get booked by any of them. So actually,
I like your strategy.
Actually, Heather Rogue, we just booked Heather Rogue for the next telenovela variety show. So Heather Rogue, in true Heather Rogue fashion, Avatar in Bruges, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, A Very Sunny Christmas, The Road, and Elf. Jennifer Alvis has Mixed Nuts, Serendipity, The Mickey Mouse, A Christmas Carol, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and Elf. Serena Gamboa has Better Off Dead, Home Alone, Bad Santa, Christmas Vacation, Harold and Kumar's 3-Day Christmas.
Oh, that was very funny.
Let's go with a couple of Bakersfield folks. Matt Regpala, who we've talked about already on this podcast today, I think. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, or Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. Batman Returns, which I thought was a great, because it takes place during
Christmas.
Christmas party, yeah.
Yeah. Christmas Vacation and Elf. Matt Munoz of Mental Brew. He has a tie of Elf, A Christmas Story, Bad Moms 2, Trading Places, Trading Places, Die Hard, and Scrooged. Let's go with a couple of comedy spot guys now. Corky McDonald of ACL. He's got Die Hard, A Christmas Carol, the Jim Carrey version, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2, not Part 1, Part 2.
Not to be confused.
Yeah, and then he says the best is A Christmas Story. Let's see. Annette Casares. Do you guys know Annette Casares? She's
yeah, I saw her. You know what's so funny is after we went to your mom's services, me and Jose went to Root Beer King because we had to get home because we had the girls in charge and we didn't want to burden them.
How many people were sneaking in a Root Beer King?
I mean, and guess where I saw her? She was at Root Beer King, also getting like crushed ice sodas. Like she had a whole box full of sodas, and me and Jose were waiting for our food to take on the road. But I know her because we used to work together at State Fund.
Okay.
So I don't know if she's still there, but before, when I used to have an office job and not a school job.
Yeah, Annette is my mom's best friend's daughter.
And, okay. I was like, because I saw that she went to the concert with your sisters and stuff.
Yeah. And Annette's got Santa Claus, Nightmare Before Christmas. Crazy we haven't talked about that movie. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, and Elf. Here's the other comedy spot guy. Troy Nelson. I love Troy's list. Christmas Vacation, A Christmas Story, Elf, A Christmas Vacation, Christmas Vacation.
Wow.
I'll just say it.
He's committed.
Yeah. Jillian Marie, who's a local comic, and she's also an artist. She's going to be on my podcast tomorrow, matter of fact. Her art is showing, Dayna, her art is on display right now at Stab Theater. So
cool.
That's who Jillian Marie is. So you'll get to check out her art tonight. She's got Lord of the Rings, the entire trilogy, Miracle on, it's like the whole thing. Miracle on 34th Street, Love Actually, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and Die Hard. So Jillian and Matt are BFFs.
They don't know it, but they are.
Yeah. From Squad Patrol, Marco Caboti, Scrooged, Miracle on 34th Street, The Muppet Christmas Carol, Die Hard, and It's a Wonderful Life. Jessica Roberts has Rise of the Guardians, Star Wars Holiday Special, A Christmas Story, The Santa Claus, and her number one is A Home Alone. And we always got to shout out Mike LaRosa. He's a local Sacramentan. He's a cast member of You the Musical. She's probably in something else, right? But Mike LaRosa has Muppet Christmas Carol, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Die Hard, Home Alone 2, and The Night Before. And then Buddy comments, Mike LaRosa, mine is almost the exact same. The Night Before is underrated, and I have no idea what they're talking about. Do you guys?
No.
I thought they meant to say The Nightmare Before, no, so I just thought it was a typo.
The Nightmare Before too, but then
right.
Yeah, he's always talking about something, but yeah. That is some of the list. Do we have any also rans, like movies that you didn't quite make your list, but you still kind of want to talk about them? Vidalia, you're nodding your head. What do you got in your rans?
One of the ones that you were reading mentioned Serendipity, and that has long, but with Marissa Tomei, has long been like one of my favorite movies. Was it Marissa Tomei? No,
I think it was Kate Beckinsale. Kate Beckinsale.
Okay, Kate Beckinsale. Sorry. Kate
Beckinsale.
No,
I don't know.
So then,
and is it
another one of Marissa Tomei? I am so bad at names. I'm so sorry, guys.
Who's the man? Is it John Cusack or who's the guy?
I think so.
Oh, John
Cusack?
Cusack,
I don't know.
I'm back on board.
Because I don't know who
I'm
people
back.
are.
I think he's overrated. So
I'm breaking up with Dayna.
She's not.
Wow. John
She's like hitting hard.
Okay,
Dayna's hitting
wait. Are you letting John Cusack's Twitter handle like interfere with your feelings about John Cusack? Because
I didn't know he was on Twitter. No, I
he's
just
annoying on Twitter. Yeah.
I just don't think he plays anything other than himself all the time, and I don't.
Fair,
it's not my jam.
Fair. That is a very good point. Lloyd Dahl. Yeah.
I just really, I was whatever about him until Grow Point Blank, and then I was like, oh, he's
that's
so
a
great.
good one.
Yeah, I liked him in that a lot.
Okay. So we just got to remember not to invite Dayna to the top 5 John Cusack movies.
Or Keira Knightley movies.
Oh, is that it for your also rans, Vidalia?
And then the Santa Claus, and then the Grinch with Carrey.
Okay.
Yep.
Dayna, you got some also rans? Something you just absolutely talk about?
Like, I also heard one in the comments and was like, oh yeah, that's really great. Bad Moms 2 is hilarious. Like, you don't get a lot of comedies where like the women, it's all women that get to be crazy and stupid, like you see in like every comedy with a bunch of dudes. And Kristen Bell, Mila Kunis, and Catherine Hahn are hilarious together. Like, it's so great. I've only seen it once, but I laughed so hard. I'm like, dang it, now I need to watch it again and watch it every year from now on.
I think that's gonna be a rewatch for me this Christmas. I haven't seen it since I think I watched it the first time, and it caught my attention also.
And also, one of my like, I've seen a lot of the bad cheesy Christmas movies, and Netflix has one that came out a few years ago called The Christmas Prince. It is terrible, but that's what makes it so great, because it's got all these cliches and all these like, really, that's happening right now. Like, there's a part where they're being chased by wolves, and then like, it's like she's gone to some kingdom and now she's undercover with this guy to like, he's a prince and she's a reporter from New York, and there's just so many dumb cliches in it. Like, they jammed it all in there, but it's so funny because it's ridiculous. I love it.
Over the top, right? Yeah, they're doing it and they don't care. Yeah. Awesome. I wasn't sure if I was going to get away with putting a Charlie Brown Christmas special on my list, because it was a special, not a movie, but of course Vidalia broke all the rules, put it in her list, but I'm all for it. I'm all for a Charlie Brown Christmas special. I look forward to watching it every year. I haven't watched it yet. I still try to do the thing of like, I still actually try to watch it like the night that it comes on CBS or whatever, whoever airs it. I try to do that with all the Charlie Brown specials. I'm just I love Charlie Brown, and they mean a lot to me. But we're gonna talk about it, Alicia. I watch this movie every Christmas. It is so dark. It takes place during Christmas, and it is like someone on a downward spiral. Less Than Zero from 1987. Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Later, Jamie Gertz. It's an 80s all-star cast. The soundtrack was produced by Rick Rubin, so it's got like LL Cool J's song Going Back to Cali was from that soundtrack, and of course the Bangles' Hazy Shade of Winter. So and I don't have the soundtrack on vinyl. I don't know why I don't have, because it's not a great soundtrack.
I mean, other than the Bangles.
Oh yeah, it's got the Bangles and LL, and then after that it's just like, I think it's got like Slayer. It's got all the bands that like Rick Rubin was working with at that time. So very Rick Rubin thing to do. But it's a great movie, but it's a dark movie. It's I feel icky after I watch it every time. But I gotta go through it once a year, and that's the dark one for me. But I haven't watched it yet this year, but I definitely will. I think I'll make Jerry watch it with me when she comes. She's driving back with me on the 26th. So I think I'm
just remember that when you guys watch it together, to do hot cocoa, not a line of Coke. So
man, so much drugs. Gosh, that movie.
I mean, like
But-
rampant.
But that's also the movie where you're like, is Robert Downey acting or is he really like spun out right now? Because that's like I was right after that we lost him for a few
I think
years.
I think he was doing the method thing by then, and that was more factual than we want to believe it was.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about Less Than Zero. I love that movie. Okay.
I didn't get to say mine.
Oh, you did? Because we were going to finish with you, then you were going to lead in. That's right.
Okay.
I get this when I talk about Robert Downey Jr.
Do it.
Okay.
Okay, so I have on my list a movie that I actually have not seen, but I wanted to know if any of you have seen it because I hear such great things about it. It's called The Family Man with Nicolas Cage and Tia Leone.
Yes,
Oh.
that
Have you
was a
seen it?
good movie. Yeah, I have.
Okay. All right. So I just wanted to see if anybody had seen it because I know people that swear by it, like up and down, that it's so beautiful and poignant and feel good, and you feel bad at first, but then it all resolves itself as most Christmas movies do. Yeah. Okay. But I will say that I felt compelled at first to like put on like standards, like It's a Wonderful Life or Miracle on 34th Street or stuff like that. And then I just decided, you know what? I don't have to. Why do I feel like I have to? So, so I left all of that stuff off, Miracle on 34th Street and It's a Wonderful Life, because either somebody was going to put it on or we were all going to not put it on. So I didn't want to be that person. But anyway, and then my kids used to watch this all the time. It's Mickey's Christmas Carol. So we used to watch that all day, every Christmas. But I will say that this next, I might get hate, but I don't care. First I'll say the Santa Claus, because obviously the first one, all the rest of them were garbage, but the first one was really good.
The first one was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'll give it that. But the one that I might get hate for is so funny. And I had not watched it one year. I did because my nieces were over. And so my daughters and myself and my sister and her two daughters were just camped out all over the couches and watching this movie. And I will not forget my niece's laugh. My niece Emma, she has the best laugh. And she was from her soul, laughing so hard at this movie. I was laughing at her, laughing at this movie, but my girls loved it. Everybody was cackling. It's a Medea Christmas.
Oh.
And you know what? Some of those movies are good and some of them are just stinkers, and it's a crapshoot with Tyler Perry, but you always get good one-liners from Medea, and this one in particular we really love around here. So that had to be an honorable mention for me. So I don't know, if it comes on and you feel compelled to change the channel, maybe give it a minute. It could grow on you.
All right.
But I saw some collective head nodding, so I feel pretty good about that choice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. You want to go take us into the number ones now? What's your number
okay.
one?
Sure. For number one, I could see it in any ideation, but the one in particular that is the most quoted around my house is Jim Carrey and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I think it's called Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. But yeah, that version. But also, the OG, the cartoon that comes on TV. But like I said, I had certain criteria, and anything that came out on TV, if it was a TV movie or cartoon special, I had to leave off in favor of other things on that technicality, or else I would have put 10 things on here. But we love all versions, and that's just the one that my kids know by heart. So,
my dog Penelope's full name is Penelope Sue Who Rivera.
Aw.
Yeah.
That was the first DVD I ever owned.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Grinch. Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
Pulling at the heartstrings, number one. Okay. Dayna, what do you have at number one?
So my number one was a journey to get a hold of. I own a copy now, but it took me many, many years because I asked for it for Christmas several times, and then it just didn't exist on DVD for several years. And then I finally was an adult with my own money and bought it for myself because it's the best. My number one is A Muppet's Christmas Carol. Like I've seen several versions of A Christmas Carol, but I think that that one just does it the best. Like not only is it like fun and silly because it's got the Muppets, and the Muppets are like my jam, but it's also they just wrote it really, really well. And I think they really brought some really great characterization to, you know, each one of the Muppets and the different sections of the story. Michael Caine is fantastic as Mr. Scrooge. And I also like there's a song when he's in the past where his like girlfriend breaks up with him, and it's the saddest song, and it like makes me cry every time. It's so beautiful. I still cry. I know it's coming, but I like can't help it. And I just like it just brings so many different emotions. And it's, you know, some people might want to right off be like, oh, it's the Muppets. I'm like, no, the Muppets do magic. Like they put their heart and soul into these kind of things. And I also like that Gonzo is the one that narrates because he's my favorite. So like that warms my heart. So yeah, that's my favorite one.
I don't know if it's like a generational thing or whatever, but I feel like the Muppets are so underrated currently. Oh my gosh. Oh.
It's a lunchbox.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Look at Miss Piggy.
The whole franchise. I really thought I was gonna grow up to be Miss Piggy when I was little. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Oh, cute.
That was my life goal, to be Miss Piggy when I grew up. The Muppets Take Manhattan is my personal favorite from all of their movies, but the Christmas one is so good. I love the Muppets. They're wonderful.
One of my daughters was like deathly afraid of Miss Piggy when she was little. I don't know why, but she will tell me to this day that she terrified her. She was scared of her.
Oh my.
When she must have been like 6 or 5 or whatever, but yeah, she had a block on them for sure.
I have I have an extra copy of the Muppets Christmas Carol album, and I'm gonna give it to a friend of mine tonight. So I listened to it last night, and I was like, oh, this is so good.
Oh, good.
Yeah. All right. Muppets Christmas Carol.
There's points that are scary, there are points that are sad, the points are happy. Like it really spans the gamut. It's great.
Takes you on an emotional roller coaster. I like it.
What about, wasn't there like a Muppets, the Otters Jug Band Christmas?
Yeah, it used to be on TV.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was also fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that one up because that one comes up. It's kind of obscure, but it comes up every year around Christmas. Somebody will mention it, and it'll always be like somebody cool will mention it. I'm like, you know what? I need to check that out. You know, but I haven't in a very long time. I'm sure I saw it when it was on TV. Okay, Vidalia, what do you have at number 1?
Christmas Story.
Oh, Christmas Story.
My favorite. I could, when it's on for 24 hours, I can absolutely watch it for 3 or 4 without missing a beat. Like, I'm cool. I love it.
It's just something that we always have in the background, and we can put around and finish baking or making the dinner or whatever. And it's just one of those things that it's the soundtrack of our home, kind of.
The writers, the dialogue in that film is amazing. The way that Ralphie, and who's the narrator? Help me, because again, I don't remember people's names.
Wow.
I have his, like, he has curly hair. I kind of like remember, but anyway, so he's
look it up, Jess.
Huh?
I said, look it up, Jessie. I can see him.
But anyway, that line where he's talking about how his father interwove whatever of curse words, and how like he described just the language, the dialogue is so great. I love that about that movie. Yes, fudge, and then the soap in the mouth after that, and then his fantasies of what's going to happen because he's going to go blind because of soap blindness, and then Schwartz. with his little cap with that long. I've always wanted one of those, that long cap that he wears.
Uh-huh.
That's like a beanie kind of thing.
Right.
The kid who stuck his tongue
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
God, what was his name?
I
It
just
was
love
something
it.
Scott Schwartz. Scott Schwartz. Scott Schwartz.
Schwartz.
Scott.
I don't know.
I always
I don't
love when you could hear the little kid getting beat over the phone. We did what?
Yeah. Oh yeah. What? The mom's all freaking out. The baby brother, the way he eats, when he eats like a little piggy, and when she puts him in all those layers of jackets because he's gonna go outside and he's like a snowman, like barely walking. Just everything about it. The bunny suit that he gets from his aunt that he has to wear. I don't know. The last thing. The scene with the teacher, his fantasy of him getting an A after he writes his report about getting done for Christmas.
Bless.
She keeps on going all around. Yeah, it was just everything about it. I love that movie. I could watch it over and over, and I have, and I will again.
And I will.
And I will again.
The narrator, did you find out who that was?
The narrator, it says, is Gene Shepard.
Okay, that's not who I was thinking then.
Okay.
Yeah, it says Gene
That's not
Shepard.
who I was thinking. Okay, well, anyway, he does a great job. He did a fantastic job. So yeah, definitely my number one.
Okay. Oh, this is gonna be hard, you guys. This is gonna be hard. Okay. Now we're gonna take our list here and we're gonna try to make a top 5. I don't know, is it gonna be hard? Because, all right, so I pulled to the side. It seems like these 4 have to make our list. The Polar Express, Love Actually, Elf, and Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves, and I don't know what order we're going to put those in. Everyone has something represented in the list. Some of us have 2, that's fine. What's going to be that 5th movie? We have Polar Express, Love Actually, Elf, Christmas Story.
Was there one that we all had? That would be number 1.
No,
because I don't think so. I think there's maybe just
Vidalia
3.
didn't have Elf.
Right.
Yeah. Or I didn't have Love Actually. But we put Love Actually on the list.
I don't know how you live with yourself.
It's hard sometimes. It is.
And nobody had the Grinch. So
Nobody had Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, yeah. And I told my daughter too, I was like, for me, it's more of a Halloween. I know it goes both ways. I know it goes both ways, but for me, the feelings are more Halloween-y that resonate with me than Christmas.
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's kind of like his love of Halloween and letting go and then discovering Christmas, but it's more his love of Halloween, I think.
And actually he spends more time not in the Halloween town than in it. Like screen time wise, I think I said Halloween, I meant Christmas, but the Christmas town didn't get as much screen time, I feel like, as the spooky part, spooky town or whatever it's called, Halloween town.
Okay, if we go by the lists and stuff that was mentioned on the internet, on Facebook, Home Alone got brought up a couple of times. I want to say the Muppets Christmas got brought up a couple times. The Charlie Brown got brought up a couple times. Yeah, Christmas Vacation got brought up a lot.
Did you have it on your list, Jesse?
Did I not give my number 1?
No, I don't think you did.
No.
Oh, because I knew you guys weren't gonna have it. My number 1 is Christmas Vacation. Roll your eyes, all of you.
No, it's fine. It's just
It's
I
what's
just
in your
saw
heart.
it a couple times and it's fine. I don't not like it.
It's got Juliette Lewis, right? Who is great at being cynical, and Juliette Lewis. The wife is gorgeous.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in it. It's so good. It's so good. It hits on all of the tropes, It's got the shopping mall scene. It's got the Christmas tree scene. It's got, it's got everything. It was mentioned a lot on Facebook. I'm not saying that that's why it should make the list, but let me.
For me, Charlie Brown is the hill I'm willing to die on.
And that did come up in Jesse's honorable mention.
For this list, I don't know how we could possibly make a list, and that's why it's on mine. That doesn't include Charlie Brown. So that's where my vote goes. I don't know if anybody will back that up, but
I'm okay. I'm okay with that actually, because it is a family favorite of ours, but I left it off based on a technicality. So otherwise I probably would have, but I had to find a quick way to narrow this puppy down. But yeah.
Dayna, how do you feel about Charlie Brown Christmas?
It almost sounds like we need to put it on the top 5 to apologize for not putting it on because it wasn't because of technicalities. But there's no technicalities in our hearts.
Nicely said. Yes.
I don't want to put it on. I want to give it the number 1 honorable mention spot. We're still going to talk about it, but it's not a movie. Vidalia, are you okay with that?
No, it is a movie. IMBD, which has more to say about movies than you and I both put together, calls it a film. It's on their website.
Could we make the 5th spot a choose your own adventure where you get to pick your own favorite to plug in?
Okay.
I want to know what Jesse wanted to put in instead of Charlie Brown, because you were real quick to suggest, well, let's put it at number 1 in the honorables, because I feel like you have something that you want to put.
I want Christmas Vacation because it was mentioned so much in the lists. Well, okay, well, let's do this.
No, I don't know those people. I don't know them.
No, they're not even in this podcast right now.
I mean, the people that I think have the best thoughts about movies also picked a Muppets Christmas Carol in the comments. So those are the people that I think made the right choice. So I would vote for that.
See, because I want to make Charlie Brown Christmas and a Muppets Christmas Carol honorable mentions so that we get to talk about both of them. Okay, look, I'll do this. Look, I'll do this. I'll say, okay, I'm giving up on Christmas Vacation. I'm letting it go. But I'm saying that Charlie Brown and Muppet Christmas Carol are a tied honorable mention. So then that opens the door for a whole brand new number 5 that we could all agree on. And how do you guys feel about that?
I feel like that's fair. And even I would suggest if we all had this movie collectively on an honorable mention or even on our list, but the Santa Claus, I'd bump that up.
Mm-hmm. Well, wait, I think it's okay. And you being of fairness and level-headed, you're okay with it. I don't know. Is everybody okay with not having Charlie Brown actually on the list? Charlie Brown being an honorable mention? Okay, well, sounds like it.
Wow.
Vidalia?
Yes?
Are you okay with that?
No, but I mean, if that's what the consensus is with everybody else, then that's cool. But I think if it's not going to be a number 5 or on the top 5, I feel like Home Alone was mentioned.
Oh,
yeah.
But
that's what I was going to ask Jesse.
Yeah.
Of the top 5s that we mentioned, because I know that a couple of them had 3 of you or 3 of us, and then maybe there was the 4th person that didn't have that. But of those, how many are there, and which ones are there? Are they?
Of the ones
that had the 3 votes.
What was the question?
So of the ones that you say are in the top 5, how many of those had 3 solid hands in the air for that particular movie, because that would determine what goes where, I guess. And then how many people have two, and just like we usually do, you know?
Yeah, no, Elf is definitely one, I think. Because Elf was mentioned by everybody except Vidalia. And then Love Actually was, well, so it's a tie actually. Elf and Love Actually were mentioned by 3 of us, right? So
But I think Elf got a lot more love in the comments. So that one might edge it out.
But Love Actually did get love in the comments. It did. So then are we okay saying that Elf is number 1?
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
is Love Actually number 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then Christmas Story, I feel like that came up a lot.
Then Christmas Story.
Too, A Christmas Story.
Did you guys all have it in your top 5? Because it was in mine.
Yeah, it's in mine. It's in my number
But
1.
just not Dayna. Just not Dayna. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Polar Express 4, and then Home Alone 5? Or
who had Polar Express? Was it just me and Vidalia?
Yeah.
I had it as my number 5.
Should Polar Express be 5 and Home Alone 4?
Yeah, probably. I feel like I
I'm
think
okay with that.
yeah, I feel like Home Alone was mentioned maybe not only among us but also in the comments.
Okay.
The Facebook comments. So
then our honorable mentions are Charlie Brown Christmas Special and the Muppets Christmas Carol, both of which are television specials. And then
I don't think so. I think Muppets Christmas Carol was in the theaters.
Yeah.
Was it in the theaters? Oh,
I think so.
It's a whole movie.
And then the only one we're making an exception for is Charlie Brown. Okay. And those are our honorable mentions. And number 5 is Polar Express. Number 4 is Home Alone. Number 3, A Christmas Story. Number 2, Love Actually. And number 1 is Elf. Christmas Vacation.
That is almost my entire list exactly, except for my number 1. So exactly how you rated them is exactly how I had them on my list.
Wow.
Elf was number 2, Love Actually, A Christmas Story, and Polar Express.
Wow.
I'm psychic.
So if we want to experience a true Californian Christmas, hang out at Alicia's house. She's got it all. She's got it all. The rom-com.
Oh gosh. And did you know, Vidalia, just in case you didn't hear Jesse say it, but he said that Charlie Brown's Christmas is going to be at the top of the honorables, because I think he only said it like 5 times.
He's just trying to appease me. He's just trying to appease me.
He's really driving it home.
Whatever.
What do you think? Look at you guys.
Yeah.
Oh man, always thank you guys so much for doing this.
This was so much fun.
This was a lot of fun. Dayna, thank you for joining us. I know maybe it was like a little bit intimidating, like hanging out with 3 people who absolutely know each other. But
oh, this is super fun. Thank you for letting me join you.
She was lovely. She needs to come back.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to sell me on, Dayna. Yeah.
No, don't. Like, what I'm saying is, don't pick that other guy that you picked first.
Oh, Mike is great.
Oh no, Mike's great.
No, Mike's great. Mike is great. You know, maybe we'll do something, me, Alicia, and Mike. And then we'll do something with the Vidalia. But no, Mike's movie knowledge is great. He's all over the place. He's great. And he's a great guy. He's a great person too. So
I feel like Dayna fit right in. She just
seamlessly.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, it's going to her head now, guys. Stop it. No. Oh man. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And have a great holiday. And
I'm gonna go bake. My daughter's waiting for me to get off the podcast and go help her bake zucchini bread.
Awesome.
Yum.
All right. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.